What is up, Team Starlight? Today, we're going to talk about 25 different cards that we think deserve reprints because they have no holo. We're talking the highest rarity they have is a rare or a shatter foil. And I know that Ether Yu-Gi-Oh will probably be mad at us for calling shatter foil not a good enough rarity, but it's not, you know? We want real shiny. We want supers, secrets, ultras, and everything in between, QCRs. And all of these cards that we're going to be showing you do not have that at all. Some of them desperately just need a reprint, period. But today we're also not going to be discussing cards that we think need reprints in general because they're super expensive. That could be a separate video. Once again, this is just for cards that need a shiny version reprinted
They need that
ASAP.
shiny love.
Yeah, for all the rarity hoes out there, you know who you are. And be honest, you're probably going to agree with most of the cards on this list. And today I'm joined by Albert and Declan.
What's up?
Hello.
So yeah, first on our list, I think is the most obvious and probably the most sought after of the cards. It has one printing in Crossroads of Chaos in a rare, and it's Iron Chain Dragon. Iron Chain Dragon is used with Debris Dragon usually, or exclusively, because like why else would you make this generic 6 synchro? And it's not like super duper expensive because it's not super duper important, but for the decks that do need it, the fact that it's the only rarity it comes in as a rare is like kind of cringe.
Yeah, it's like the only extra deck monster that doesn't have a good rarity in almost all of Edison. There's probably one I'm forgetting, but this is like the main one. So Konami, come on, what you doing?
Yeah, and I do think this with like any rarity, but like I'm surprised it completely missed the quarter century bonanza because I think like a QCR Iron Chain Dragon would have went very hard.
Yeah, Konami did us dirty not giving us that card in the latest QCR set because it would have gone great in my QCR quick draw deck.
Oh
I need
yeah,
it.
you're all QCR quick draw. That's the one card like extra deck wise, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's so depressing. I didn't even realize that. Okay, so yeah, I think everyone would agree Iron Chain Dragon desperately needs a rarity. Okay, the next one is Ancient Gear Engineer.
Dude, this card is so freaking good. And how is it only a common? It's like I have to just have my nice shiny ancient gear deck. Now we've got the Gear Towns. Thank you for letting me borrow them, Marcos in QCR. We've got the Gadgetron Dragons, and almost all the Gear Town monsters have really awesome rarities, like whether they be ultras and above or ultis in the case of like the dog and the Ancient Gear Golem. But this card just has no love, and it's really freaking good. It's like we need it, Konami now.
Yeah, absolutely slept on card. And I mean, the fact that it got reprinted in Speed Duel, which is, you know, relatively recently, it was on Konami's radar. So that kind of almost feels like salt on the wound. Like they knew this card, like, yeah, you know, we should reprint this card, and then decided to make it a common again. Like, oh my god, I think like the Speed Duel rarities, in my opinion, are so gorgeous. Like the Speed Duel Secrets or the Speed Duel Supers. This in like a Speed Duel Super would have went absolutely crazy, but instead they're like, another common, why not? So next up, we got Solidarity. So Solidarity has seen a lot more play recently with the gadgets. The Solidarity gadgets doing very well. And I think a lot of gadget players would totally agree that this card desperately needs a shiny reprint. And it arguably needs a reprint in general because their commons are going for like $4 a pop. And you need 3 of them. And I know like paying $12 for a playset of cards is not that much. But for a playset of commons, it feels like absolutely ridiculous, especially for a card that sees so much usage like Solidarity. And it got reprinted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different times, and 5 of those times were rare. Why?
Like $15 for a playset of rares feels worse than spending like $60 on a playset of ultis. Like, come on, like we just need this card. I feel like even just a super.
Yeah.
Like this card would go hard as a super. This card is very, very much in need of it in multiple facets, as you said.
Yeah, I just think the moment that it does get reprinted in a super, you're gonna see these like rare versions of the card go down significantly, especially if the commons will probably see them drop, which is good. I don't feel like Solidarity it deserves to be that expensive as a common. Let's get a playset for $3 total, right? Like let's be reasonable here, Konami.
Yeah, there's very few decks that can play this. So there's no reason this card should be this expensive. I bought a playset when Gadgets topped at RBT, and it just felt bad spending that much on a set of rares.
Jeez. Was it this rare, the Ancient Prophecy ones?
Yeah,
Oh god, it's the nicest one though. I do agree that I think the Ancient Prophecy is probably the best version of it, but yikes, like the other ones are just so expensive. Next up, we have Spined Gilman. It's the brick card you never want to see if you're playing Diva Hero. For the most part, it comes in just pure commons, but there is also a Shatterfoil version of Spined Gilman. And I know some people would think, oh, that's good enough. No, not at all. Because this is also like a later Shatterfoil. It's not even like the original, like, hidden
Yeah,
arsenal.
look where that first edition is printed. That's just no good. It's got the new borders.
Yeah.
If it's got the new borders and the new first edition, we at least need it to be hollow. We can't be having this no foil.
The battle pack Shatterfoils, in my opinion, are like the weakest Shatterfoils. So this is basically like having no foils at all. And it has like that battle pack rare, which is just like, is that even rare? Like, let's be
Yeah, that's a cap. Also, like, I really want this to get reprinted so that my opponents that play Diva Hero will just draw their Gilman more often. So, like, it's really just a win-win. Like, honestly, they'll feel happy that they have a shinier deck. I'll feel happy that they draw Gilman. It's like, this one just floats all boats.
That's so freaking toxic. I love it. We have 3 different frogs I want to talk about. Death Frog, Unifrog, and Flip Flop Frog. All 3 of these frogs have been seeing a lot more play in Edison format, but unfortunately, for cards like Death Frog, we only have 2 common printings, and then cards like Unifrog, I think they only have like, what? How many printings does Unifrog have? Unifrog only has 2 common printings as well, and one of them is because they Oh wait, these are both because they Unifrog only has another printing because they just reprinted Light of Destruction with the 2020 reprint. You're the frog expert, Declan. Please give us your insight as to the issue with all these frogs being like commons.
The issue is my ability to max out frogs. It's just really hurting my ego to be running these commons in my deck. But all jokes aside, I'm so glad that I got in on the Death Frogs before they jumped up to like what is this, like 670 for a lightly played copy of a common Death Frog? Like, come on, keep it a buck. Like, that's just egregious. I hate the secondary market sometimes, and this one is just very sad. It just goes to show how much you really need it. And you need 3 Death Frogs, so it's just like even worse. It's like what we were saying with Solidarity. Like, this feels so bad for the people that want to start playing Forgs, that are kind of like gate kept out of this by this kind of like weird feels bad man purchasing of 3 $7 Death Frogs. So yeah, it would just be awesome. So sad we didn't get the QCRs, but I don't know, man. If you just reprint these in like maybe OTS packs as like a super or like some just a bare minimum, you know, like it would be greatly appreciated, any and all of them, and then we could get those hollow frog decks for the frog lovers of Edison format.
Yeah, thankfully Flip Flop Frog and Unifrog are not super expensive, but just the fact that you run either one or both of these, so your deck is literally 1 card short of being max rarity a lot of the time if you're just playing like hero frogs, because you know all the hero stuff's all shiny, all the other frogs are shiny, but yeah, these 2 are just super big staples now in the frog formats, in the frog decks in this format, and it just makes me really sad that they only come in 1 printing of common. And the Des Frog, like I said, the secondary market, there is 2 different printings. You could get a Cybernetic Revolution version for a little bit cheaper, but like still paying like what, $4 for a mod play, so like $5 for a light plate is kind of crazy, man. $15 for a play set of not even first ed common Des Frogs. But that's the cheapest possible way you can get light played. That's ridiculous. So reprint the frogs. Reprint the frogs, Konami. It's just easy money. And I think at the end of this video, if every single card we talk about gets reprinted, this would be a great set. Like 1 big set. It could be just 1 big OTS that they give just retro format players. That'd be super sick. Look, man, Limit Reverse has hella reprints. Shows up in a bunch of different structure decks too. Speed Duel even. And I hate that it's shown up so many times, and it just got a common reprint every single time. I mean, it features what's this guy's name? This little like soldier guy?
Swordsman of Landstar, I think.
Yeah, this cute little guy, like just give him a little like a super would be all I'm asking for. It's like my favorite card in this format. I love making decks around Limit Reverse. It's just I think it's still such an underrated, unexplored card, but the fact that it comes in common, I bet you this like turns off some players from even trying to use it.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of this whole list in general. It's like people don't want to play common cardboard. They want the shiny cardboard. So like if they want to spice up the format, inject some life, this is one of those cards to do it with.
And now let's get onto like a side deck card that has been seeing a lot more play. Needle Sealing, y'all. Needle Sealing has 6 different common versions of itself, which is good, you know, because it's like a pretty useful side deck card that you can get. But then one Starfoil, not even Shatterfoil. I hate Starfoil, by the way. I think Starfoil is ugly. There's not even an image here. Good. We don't want to see it. But it's like a $5 Starfoil. Like, come on, dude. Needle Sealing is one of those cards that it seems broken on paper, and when it does get pulled off, it's like really strong. And now that it's showing up in a ton of side decks to deal with forgs, to deal with just these decks that spam out monsters, I think a secret version of this, an ultra version, just something that's just a little spicier with what is, in my opinion, one of the coolest arts ever. Like actually a guy about to get squished by like the ceiling. I don't know. I think it would look really cool in any rarity.
This one also has a lot of really positive spillover effects to other formats. Like Hat, this card is super relevant. So like it gets a doubly boost if it's like used in other formats as well. And I think people even run this in redo like against windups. So yeah, it's just like very versatile, really good card that would, and again, it would do good for all the retro format communities.
XX Saber Ragigura. It has 2 printings, a common and a rare.
Raggy Girl. I think it's the only X-Saber monster that does not have a holo. And X-Sabers are they're a deck in Edison format, and it's seen more popularity in the last few months. So it's definitely a card I would like to see reprinted as a secret, as a super, as an ultra, anything really. Just give it to me so I could put it in my shiny X-Saber deck.
I think there's also some insane combos with this guy if you're willing to run two, and if people actually had a shiny copy, they could probably play some insane combo variants of X Sabers that are way more, probably not as good, but more fun, perhaps, with double Ragigura. Get some crazy looping going.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure how strong Ragigura is after Dark Soul comes out, but like it could have some spillover into future retro formats as well past Edison. Because X Sabers do get a lot better right after Edison. Right after Edison become broken. And Ragigura is just like a really strong card in Edison format, especially with the 1-for-1 combos can lead to just a full hand loop. It's amazing. So
It's also probably the coolest looking X-Saber, and it doesn't have a holo. Like, come on.
I agree with that. I agree with that. This guy is such a beast. Like he is equipped with these sabers. We need it.
also he's not a reptile. Like, I just realized that. Why is he not a reptile? He's a beast warrior? The hell? He's definitely a lizard, right? Am I tripping?
Nah, I think it's just a fit. It's just an archetype. He's slotted in there.
But
to
there
fit
is
the
but there
archetype.
is reptiles in X Sabers. There's that reptile tuner. You know what I'm talking about, Albert?
No, but we have the insect in Emmer's Blade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh. Okay,
like,
they just trolled.
This is actually sorry. That's just a fun side note. I had no idea he was a beast warrior. We have all seen his meteoric rise of the deck Gigaplant, Gigavise decks, and half of the word Gigavise is from the card Supervise, and believe it or not, it has 4 reprints and not a single one of them is hollow. The best that comes in is a rare. And the rare, in my opinion, is an ugly looking card. I'd rather just run the original structure deck common. But it's just like Supervise, having the word super in its name and not being a super is baffling.
Yeah, this one would be a very, very coveted reprint. I'm sure it's printing money for Konami to just put this in a high rarity. Also, it's just good in on top of Gigavice. Gemini's is like it's on a great deck, but it's a solid deck that could easily top like events. I think if people played it, if it actually had popularity, but maybe people aren't playing it because common supervises are just too much of a deterrent.
Yeah, dude, the rarity hoes are a fickle bunch, But they don't touch commons, bro. That's all I'm saying. They avoid them like the plague. That's probably why so many people play Black Wings, because that entire deck is shiny. Next up is actually two different cards, but they serve the same purpose, so we're going to talk about them at the same time, and that's Copy Plant and Nettles. We already talked about the meteoric rise of Gigavies in this format, but it's crazy that the two tuners that are required for all the crazy wombo combo shenanigans they do have basically one printing. Copy Plant has two printings, both common, and Nettles has one. And it's just this crappy Crossroads of Chaos common. And yeah, I just think that's really disappointed, especially for Copy Plant, because I do feel like Copy Plant is a card that just feels way more useful even in later formats, more so than Nettles, because Copy Plant has that actual useful effect. And obviously, I think in later formats, people are going to use like Spore or other better tuners like Glow Up Bulb, but Copy Plant does have like this saucy extra application to it that I think is underexplored in future formats as well. But yeah, being a common for both of these is just miserable.
Right. I think that's a good call. Like why these cards got forgotten about is because the broken plant tuners that came after them, like shortly after them in Spore and Glow Bulb. But yeah, definitely agree. Prioritize Copy Plant because it has a crazy effect. But why not both? Why not both? Just give them to us. It would be nice.
And while we're on the Gigavice train, different dimension reincarnation, it's absolutely a travesty for how awesome of an art this card is, for how iconic of a card art this card is, because it's trying to be kind of like Premature Burial, which is a very famous and very important card in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. And it's kind of a retrain of that card, a little bit more balanced version of that card because it has a bigger cost, and it never got a single rarity reprint. Why?
Yeah, it's a travesty. I know everyone's trying to max out their eccentric boy decks, and they're just not able to because DDR is a common.
Dude, DDR is one of those cards that like it doesn't even have like a speed duel reprint, but like a speed duel secret for this would blow my mind. I'd be like the happiest little boy. I know speed duel is not a thing anymore. I do hope Konami comes up with some future like retro or time wizard packs or something, you know, and then just does all these cool reprints and cool unique rarities. Like maybe a new ulti comes out, but like DDR is definitely one of those cards that if it had a rarity, I think it would actually be a little bit on the more expensive side because it's such a iconic looking card, you know?
The like a OTS ulti. Can you imagine? Like I don't really love them because they don't like they do that thing where they don't hollow out the whole card. It's like but this card, like if the guy was, you know, he's trapped and it's like all ulti around him and he's coming out of that different dimension, like that would just go so hard.
Now we got Autonomous Action Unit. So Autonomous Action Unit is more of a side deck card in Gigavice because you would target like for the plant mirror, you would just take people's lone fires. And it does technically have a shatter foil from Battle Pack. A Battle Pack star foil and also is the highest rarity it comes in. And I just find that a little disappointing because I think this card is a very underrated and unexplored card. I think the only time I've seen it top in a main deck was when Raunak used it in like a Mausoleum Frog deck. But yeah, I just think this is a really cool and really broken card that just deserves its own rarity. Okay, so pal, this is probably the most disappointing of the commons because I think the fairy decks, like almost every card comes secret or like a really beautiful shiny card like Christia, Shining Angels, Honest. Like they just all look really nice, you know?
Yeah, so pal, no love. I don't get it. We need to be able to max out the light decks. People go crazy for the light decks. Light Sworn, Fairies. They just have gorgeous cards, and it's kind of a necessary evil in your fairy deck to fix your graveyard. And just having to run these combos in your deck such a feels bad, man.
Yeah. I also think the art is like kind of looks like it would be shiny. You know, this looks like it would be like an OG super. And it's sad we're never gonna get that, but I think it would have looked really nice as like a classic super, you know? But we'll never get a classic super, so just give us like another secret or something, okay, Konami? This next card actually saw a lot of play to the point where it ended up getting banned in future formats. Kaiser Coliseum is one of those floodgates that surprised me when it even showed up on this list. I think Declan, you're the one that brought it up, but yeah, it only comes in common.
Yeah, it's definitely just a personal pick. Like, obviously, the world would not end if Kaiser Coliseum doesn't get a reprint, but, you know, this is a wish list more than anything else. So, I just want it. I just need it. Give it to me. It would look probably good. Just give me a OTS super. It doesn't need to be anything special. It would just make me feel a little bit better about my decks that I'm trying to cook with this. I've been cooking zombie decks. I've been cooking fairy decks that with George. Lots of cards in Edison that could run this. It's relevant. It has spillover effects in future formats. In Hat, like I think Boojins run this card to great effect. So again, beneficial in other formats as well.
This is one of those things I love about Edison format and about retro formats. Cards that never saw play becoming way more relevant and showcasing that they're actually really solid. And this one made a whole new deck exist, a deck called Welladad, which is using telekinetic power well to make your Dark Arm Dragons live and your Synchro plays super live. And this card has seen a ton of play and a lot of usage, and has thus become not like super expensive, but you know, more expensive than it should be for being only a common. Yeah, it's like a $3 to $4 common, and you usually need at least 2 of them in most Welladad lists. And yeah, I'm surprised that this doesn't have any reprints, period. But especially not a holo
filter
one.
filter for like light played.
Oh yeah,
Marcos?
let's filter for that.
I need to see it. I need to see for sure. Okay, but then if you want it first, I guess okay, yeah, it's getting up there. Like that's basically $5 if you include the shipping for like a first ed copy.
Yeah.
And even this unlim copy, yeah, if you include the shipping, it's like close to like $4.
You can do free shipping over $5, or I'll make it. I'll find the other card.
Yeah, but yeah, then you're buying cards that you don't even want just to make it so you don't get that shipping costs. I'm way guilty of that. Yeah, but Powerwell, it's like a boss card, you know? It's like its effect warrants a holo, you know? Some of these we're picking because we're just like, oh, we need them to be pieces of our holo decks like Nettles and Copy Plant, but Telekinetic Powerwell is like a bomb when you resolve it, and so it needs to have the visual bomb when someone sees it.
Yeah, dude, I think this like in a OTS like an OTS ulti would actually look really cool because the art is just really fascinating. I would want that to just shine a little bit more because it has like that glow effect already.
Right.
There's a lot of different rarities that this would look nice in, but yeah. Also, people in the comments down below, let us know like what rarities some of these card arts would look the best in. I think that's also something that's worth discussing as well. Well, on the subject of telekinetic powerwell, we're actually going to talk about 2 different cards:
Psychic Commander and Mind Master. And Mind Master is the one where this card's at 1. You know what I mean? In Edison, like why this is at 1 and Substitute is at 3, I'll never understand. But like Mind Master is such a powerhouse that just has no love from the art department.
Yeah, and its art is gorgeous. Like I think this is like one of the coolest looking things. It only comes in a rare, and that has actually caused it to be slightly more expensive than it should be just for lightly played. Like $3. Like you only need 1, but it's like, come on, man. This should be like, we should have more reprints of this just so we can have a 20-cent version of it. Same thing with Psychic Commander, man. Psychic Commander only has 2 printings, a rare and a common. The rare is like actually pretty decently expensive for just a light played $5.
Wow.
Like that's ridiculous. You can get a common obviously, so it's not the end of the world, but I do think it's ridiculous that these 2 cards that are both E-Tele targets and both part of the Psychic Engine, a deck that is starting to get a little bit more popular in Edison format, and the cards that eventually still see play like in later formats just because E-Tele is that good of a card. Yeah, it's always
and Redo.
Yeah, and Redo, like psychics are really good in Redo. So it's just really surprising that this never got any more love outside of like the common rare treatment. And it makes more sense for Mind Master. Mind Master did get banned pretty fast, and Konami had no reason to reprint banned cards. But it's just a shame because I do think that both of these type of cards would look really good in a rarity and be really fun for psychic players. I know there's a lot of people that just love playing psychics. Like just they don't care if that it's like not the greatest deck. It's just fun to them, you know. It's like it's like a pet deck.
Yeah, just the other month, a person topped our 3v3 with a Mind Master in their Welladad deck. So
oh yeah,
who knows? Future innovation.
Next up is a card that has been seeing a ton of play in Glad Beasts. It's seen play throughout most retro formats, GOAT format, It's just a card that's been consistently good forever. So it's mind-boggling that it's gotten nothing beyond dual terminal shatterfoil type rarities. It's just
Yeah, what even is that normal parallel rare?
it's like
Is
the
that
dots.
even
It's like the little dots, you know?
that's just egregious, and that's worth like $70. Like, oh my god. And it's not even shiny. It's like such an insult to such an iconic and it's such an iconic card in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's one of the is it from like one of the oldest sets? I mean, it's from Starter Deck Yu-Gi.
Yeah.
I don't even know when this
It's
card
one of
first
the
came
it came
out.
out Star Deck. It's like one of the original cards. Like it was yeah, it's an OG, dude. And it's so dumb. Like it's good in so many different decks beyond Glad Beast and stuff. Like it's good in chain burn stall type strategies. Yeah, we understand that that's not the most fun to deal with, but come on, guys. Like a card this iconic and this long lasting, not seeing any type of holo reprint is crazy. Especially when cards that are very similar, like Threatening Roar, have gotten the love. They have supers and secrets. Like, come on, like a super is all we're asking for. Put it in OTS, you know. This is also a personal pick of mine. I accumulated fortune. I use it in chain beat with winged rhinos. I think accumulated fortune is really cool. It just absolutely blows that it doesn't have a reprint beyond common. And even then, the common itself for like a light plate, it's not like super expensive. It's like 50 cents a pop, right? But like, you know, that's not that bad. The price is not the issue. It's just more the fact that it only comes in one printing and it's a common. Especially because it's called like fortune. Not having any shine with the word fortune feels like, I don't know, feels weird.
Yeah, no love for the burn players. Burn players have it rough. They just don't get any respect. And so we gotta give it to them. And yeah, like you said, Chain Beat, it's topped major events. And this is like the +1 in that deck.
Yeah.
It's basically its best card, like when you resolve it.
Yeah, you've seen me resolve it, and it feels great when you resolve it. Like it's just a cool and underexplored card, and it's even good in later formats. I actually am excited about redo format because I do want to play Chain Beat in that format, and because you have Wind Up Rabbit and stuff, and Accumulated Fortune is even better in a when Wind Up Rabbit exists. You don't have to run all these other draw traps because you just can get this resolved really easily. So yeah,
Let us know if you want to see Marcos and me play a redo version of his Chain Beat.
yeah, I'll do it. I'll make Chain Beat work in redo, man. I'm excited for just exploring new stuff. But we're here to give Chain Burn some more love, which I know is a very toxic thing to say. But let's be honest here. Secret Barrel, a very important and very strong burn card that has been a staple in burn decks since GOAT format all the way to present day. The fact that it doesn't have anything beyond a common is atrocious.
Yeah, we gotta show them some love. I know people don't really want this or respect chain burn players or even just burn players in general, but I think that again, this is another one that has a really positive spillover effects to GOAT format, where burn is a very, very viable strategy. And I don't think GOAT is like all that toxic in or sorry, I don't think burn is all that toxic in GOAT. It's like a little toxic, but so are so many other strategies in GOAT format. So I think this one is just really good. And yeah, if chain burn becomes more popular in Edison, no big deal. People play their trap stuns. So just give it to us. It's a card that I think that the chain burn players deserve a little bit of love.
Also, keeping in theme, if your name has the word secret in it, come on. Like, come on.
I know.
Like, that's ridiculous. This is another little twofer because I feel like they are both in the same boat. We got Gemini Soldier, which actually only has one single reprint. And for a little while, it actually had a little bit of a rise and then kind of fell off as people realized that Geminis are not the strongest deck. But Gemini Soldier also pairs very well with Dark Valk. Dark Valkyria is a very strong card when you can get its effect off, and it only ever comes in at most a rare. And I think that's like really disappointing because both of these cards could be seeing a lot more play. When I first met the Team Starlight members, I was playing Geminis. They could see they saw the cards being used decently, I would say, and you know,
Give yourself a little more credit. You were cooking.
I
You
was
were
cooking. I topped event here and there, but yeah, I just feel like more people would actually give these decks that are a little bit jankier a shot if the cards that they came out with we're a little bit shinier. There's a whole subsection of Yu-Gi-Oh players that are rarity hoes that would never even give these decks a chance. And it'd be cool to do that if they just had some cool reprints.
Yeah, I agree. Whenever I'm looking to make another deck, the first thing I look at is all of it holo, and if it isn't, I just don't even bother.
Dude, at least you're honest about it.
No, honestly, yeah, I respect that. Now, this is more of a pick because like I'm a big Dark Gaia fan, but I think most Dark Gaia players understand the power of Release from Stone, and thankfully it did get a speed duel reprint, which was really nice. Konami recognized that Release from Stone deserved some type of love, and I think they also ended up reprinting what was that was the Gaia Plate. They ended up reprinting Gaia Plate as well in that same set. So clearly, like, Konami has rocks on their radar. It's just crazy that they decided to just bring it back as a common again. Like, come on. Like, why do they do that? Are they afraid of shiny cards, man? Like, are they afraid of getting money?
This one's also crazy because it kind of it deserves the equal love as like Miraculous Descent and Escape from the Dark Dimension. It's basically the same effect, but for rocks. But those cards get awesome, beautiful OG supers, and this card gets nothing.
Yeah.
And this card gets played more than those cards. In Edison Format.
actually though. And the crazy part is like Dark Gaia cards in general have gotten a lot of love by Konami with a ton of really solid reprints. We saw Jujutsu, Legendary Jujutsu Master get a reprint in Speed Duels. That's secret. It looks great. Doom Cal got a reprint in Speed Duel. The Dark Gaia stuff, including Dark Calling, got a really amazing super in Speed Duel. So it's clear that like the deck is seeing a lot of love, and it makes like that deck is so beautiful. Like it's almost max rarity. You can get it every single card rarity except for this stupid card. Like, and you want to run at least like one or two, because being able to like flip this and special summon Quackmare Guardian or Fossil Dyna, having a Vanity's Emptiness in Edison format is broken.
Do it for Andy, Konami.
Yeah, do it for Andy, please. Dark Andy deserves this. I am a huge, like, Aliens is actually my favorite deck in this format. I just don't think it's that good in this format, so I don't play it as much as I used to, but I do love this deck. And unfortunately for us, the best alien is Alien Shock Trooper, which is fine. It's a 1900 beater, but it's a 1900 beater vanilla. It just sucks that it only comes in a common, especially because I think that the art that it has is actually so gas. I think its art is so cool. And later it has like a retread. So like clearly Konami like recognized like, yeah, this art was cool, man. Because they ended up making this retread that's like a link that is Alien Shock Trooper M frame. And look at that. Like they clearly know like, yeah, we kind of cooked with this art. So here's the cool retread that you want. I don't want a retread. I want a reprint. Give me this in like a secret right now.
Yeah, get Marcos.
Just me.
We'll
Just
get one
me.
sale. We'll get one sale on TCG Player. This is all you, man. I won't deny you the fact that this is an awesome art.
Maybe we'll see more
dude.
alien players, dude. And you know how fun that is to play against aliens? Oh, honorable mention. Just an honorable mention. I don't want to get called out. Offering to the Snake DD also only comes at max in DT. The rest are all just commons. And I do think that Offering to the Snake DD kind of pairs well with the other alien card I'm talking about. This is once again just for me, but it also works for other cards like reptilians and stuff. So yeah, I'm always baffled that this doesn't have a solid rarity as well. So just gonna throw that out there so that people in the comments are like, actually, you should have talked about this card. Yeah, I did. Okay.
Yeah. The reptile community would have been after you.
Dude, the reptile community can be scary, dude.
Jinzo Returner, as I was flipping through, I was thinking, damn, like Jinzo Return. See, like I think Jinzo's kind of a high rarity deck. Like you can run awesome Jinzos, and it runs all the machines, so you can run those Starlight Machinas or the OG printings. But Jinzo Returner is kind of like, you could argue he's the face of the deck. Maybe right behind Jinzo. He's Jinzo's little son, and he's just a common, man. I don't get it. I need. Oh, he's also a rare. Okay, fair enough. But he's just not popping the way he needs to with a common. Look at all those like green sparks. If those were secret and shining off of his body and he was just popping in the middle, like the new era secrets where the person's not secret himself but everything around him is, like, yeah, I think he would look really good, and the Jinzo population would be very grateful.
Yeah, not that I want to see more Jinzo OTK decks, but I think it's a really fun and like all-in type strategy, and it's like in the same boat to me as like Dragon Turbo, Gigavice, Forgs, where it's just like you're going all in, trying to just like destroy in a turn. Um, but it's a little bit more fragile, obviously, but at least give them the shiny so they can do their fragile combo in peace.
Yeah, also when they play Future Fusion and they get to dump their whole deck, you get to see all the cards. They're just rattling them off into the grave. So that's when it's really important to see all the shinies. It's kind of like Light Sworn when you mill and you just mill cards and you're putting them off the top into the graveyard and they're just all gorgeous. This is kind of in that same vein because you're gonna see them a lot because of that. So yeah, give it to us.
This next card is a card that has seen a decent amount of play in different side decks. Some people have even main decked it. Nobleman of Extermination. It's a card that's pretty solid. We have only one MST in this format. We have only one heavy. It's one of the few spell cards that can just attempt to pop spells and traps in the format. And it's kind of crazy that it only ever came at most parallel rare. It doesn't have any other holo whatsoever. It's just commons and rares, and it has like like the purple rare, the blue rare, like that. That's the Duelist League promo stuff that some people seem to really like. I hate those, but yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? Albert, you're the one that brought it up. Let's hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say. It's played in Edison. It doesn't have a holo. That's it.
What more do they need?
Honestly,
What more of an argument do
Fair
they
enough.
need?
Especially, it's also crazy because Nobleman of the Crossout, or is it Nobleman? Knock, yeah. Is it Nobleman of the Crossout, or is it Nobleman of Crossout?
It's not the
Nobleman of
crossout.
Crossout.
Nah, wait.
You think it's
Oh,
nobleman of the
Crossout.
crossout?
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so Nobleman of Crossout has so many different reprints, and it does come in different beautiful rarities, and it even got its own platinum secret rare as well. Like, it's crazy how much love Nobleman of Crossout gets, but the other Nobleman just gets nothing, dude. Like, absolutely no love.
I know he's not noble anymore. He's like a peasant right
Yeah,
now.
they should call him
We need
peasant.
him to be noble.
Peasant of Extermination would be a better name for a common card like this. Okay, and then the last card is a card that I just refuse to get rid of on this list. Get over it. Possessed Dark Soul. Possessed Dark Soul is a card that is seeing a lot more side deck play because it can steal dupe frogs. It deals with dupe block very effectively and very brokenly, and it only ever came in a common. And I think its art is just so freaking badass that it's baffling that it has not gotten a reprint.
Yeah, I selfishly don't want this one to get a reprint. I want everyone to just forget about it. As a person that runs 3 dupe frogs in most of my frog decks.
So that is our list of the 25 cards that we think should get a holo reprint. That's a mouthful. The title will probably be a lot better than that. Let us know in the comments down below which cards that have no holo reprints you would like to see reprinted. There are definitely cards that we missed out on. A lot of the cards. Oh shoot! I forgot a card. No, I forgot. It's like the most important one.
Oh my god, the reptilian community.
Dude, I almost forgot. Pause. Oh god, I almost forgot. And this matters to me because I like reptilians. I think reptilians are really cool. This is for you, Carpath, who's like the #1 reptilian fan. Reptilian Vosky is the boss monster of this deck, and I think it's baffling and ridiculous that the boss monster only comes in a rare. This card should have been a secret rare. It should have been like, like the way Plasma's treated, that has like a bunch of reprints. And I think Reptilian Vosky is such an unexplored card with a very strange but not difficult summoning condition to come out. It's big enough to be used for deck dev, big enough to be used for Eradicator. Like, reptilians in general are a slept upon deck that I think are worth exploring. And I do feel like straight up, because the boss monsters are rare, no one wants to touch it.
Fair enough. I do think that this card would look very, very nice if it was in a nice rarity. And I know we have at least one wild card local that has come through with Vosky.
They have.
So yeah, we need it. We need it. People are really playing it.
Okay, so obviously that was a little bit more than 25 cards, but 25 is a fun and beautiful number. Actual outro. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments down below which cards you would like to see get a reprint beyond common and rare. And like we said, Shatterfoil does not count. Let us know which cards we missed. and give us your explanation why, and also let us know what rarity you'd like to see some of these cards in, because I do think the rarities do change how they look and how nice some of these cards can come out.
Peace.